What's good? We back. It's the Boxing Clinic and more. Don't let the name fool you. We talk more than boxing. And getting into this NBA talk live. Golden State Warriors, Cleveland Cavaliers, Game 4 talk. Excuse me. And also, we're going to talk about, some of the greatest NBA teams never to win a title. And, it's Game 4 tonight. Just, talk to some more people come on. Hopefully we get some more people on. Should. Here we go. Somebody, let me know who you is in the chat. Let me know who we chatting with, man. It was live talk. We had a good NBA live talk, but tonight it's the night where the Golden State Warriors try to do something that they couldn't do last night. And last year they couldn't sweep Cleveland. Kyrie went off, and Cavs kind of beat them up in 4 games. This year Kyrie not here, and people saying LeBron ain't got no help. He's struggling, and it's all fair. But at the end of the day, LeBron want to, alienate himself from his teammates, trade Dwayne Wade, not let Kyrie be a part of the team and handle the ball primarily a little bit. This is gonna happen. He get the grunt of the shares and the treasures and all the flamboyant gear. Oh, he the greatest we ever seen. And then when it go down like this, you gotta enjoy the sport. You gotta enjoy going down. You gotta enjoy the negativity. You want to be propped up when y'all winning. When y'all losing, you gotta enjoy taking the scrutiny. And that's the fact of the matter. At the end of the day, people trying to say, I heard Calvin Hurd before we get into it. And I was just listening and say, oh, Durant had his greatest finals, and that wasn't even close to what LeBron has been doing in the playoffs in the past. At the end of the day, don't let these ESPN dudes and these Fox dudes fool you. Just because you score 50, 20, and 38, whatever it may be your stat line, it doesn't matter if you're losing in the finals. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. That's like fucking bad bitches, man. You fucking all bad bitches, but you ain't make none of them come. Think they're going to fuck you again? Nah. You know what I'm saying? You don't get credit for great stat lines but losing. I don't care what people say. You don't get credit. What up, Quincy Pinola? You don't get credit for great stat lines and losing. That ain't how it go. Yeah, Jordan scored 63 points in the Boston Garden, okay? Do you hear people even talk about being at one of his greatest accomplishments? People talk about the 96 season. People talk about all defensive player of the year, MVP, slam dunk champion. You know what I'm saying? Talk about a lot of stuff before they get to him scoring 63 in the Boston Garden, which ain't had no air conditioning back in the day. And LeBron, quite frankly, when they had air conditioning in San Antonio, he collapsed. He cried, he cramped up. We all remember that. But tonight, it's different. LeBron, he can't get swept twice in 2 different finals. I know y'all forgot back in the day he got swept by the Spurs and Bowen and Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and Ginobili. Now he facing getting swept by the Golden State Warriors. And people basically talking about, oh, this is supposed to be the outcome the whole year. This is the outcome the whole year. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. At the end of the day, he knew that. He got Tristan Thompson paid LeBron James. He chose to come back to Cleveland and team up with Kyrie and Deion Waiters and the rest of them boys. He the reason why Wiggins got traded for Kevin Love. He made those moves. He made his bed. Now it's time to lay in it. Stop trying to deflect blame. People talking about, why is people so hard on LeBron? Because when you get all the credit, it's like being a great quarterback, fellas. When you a great quarterback, you get all the credit. But when the shit don't go right, you get all the blame. Take it back to Peyton Manning. People remember, when Peyton Manning finally broke through, when he won with Denver at the end of his career. People don't remember he was losing to the Dolphins and getting kicked out the playoffs in the first, second round. Couldn't win the AFC championship with the Colts. People forget that. Peyton Manning wore that monkey on his back. He had that big-ass monkey on his back. So did Steve Young. You know what I'm saying? They finally broke through and won a championship. That's LeBron. He's a quarterback. He done made all these strategic moves to the Cleveland Cavaliers roster. He done left Miami, came back. He did that. Ain't nobody make him come back to this roster. Kyrie Irving, he made Kyrie Irving leave. He made Kyrie Irving leave, my brother. He did that. So He made Kyrie Irving leave, fellas. I'm just telling the truth. He didn't want to let Kyrie Irving be his own man and kind of do what he wanted to do. You know? He didn't let him be his own man. I'm sorry to say it. What's going on, Cali and Nigga? We got a real Golden State Warrior fans here right here, man.
We're live from the Pick Six Lounge. I'm getting ready to go inside.
All right, we got them here from the Pick Six Lounge. They about to get ready to try to celebrate a championship tonight. Just talking about, everybody wants to be better than Mike. Of course, that's the goal, to be better than him. And Mike wanted to be better than Magic and Bird and Dr. J and Kareem and Wilt. That's the goal. But at the end of the day, for LeBron, it's something that you can't force, man. At the end of the day, people didn't try to put Jordan above Magic and Bird. That wasn't the topic. It just happened. And for LeBron, a lot of people can't stomach that it just never happened, that he got the chance to be the greatest of all time. I mean, you can go through the stat line and whatever you want to say about the guy, but if he gets swept tonight, I mean, come on, man.
People base greatness on championships. That's the way that's the way it works in sports. Unfortunately for some guys, but that's the way it's always been counted. How many rings you got? Am I wrong?
You're right, and it ain't never been about stats. It ain't never been about triple doubles. The triple double just got popularized because when Oscar Roberts was doing, I guarantee you they wasn't going hard like that over triple double. That wasn't the case. This ain't never been a stat driven league, man. It been about stats, but ain't nobody ever say, oh, Magic is the greatest because of this, or nobody ever say when Will scored 100 points, he was the greatest of all time. You never see people go back and talk about that and say he the GOAT.
No, not at all, man. It's always been about one thing and one thing only, man. Rings. You win championships. Kevin Durant's going to be, people talked all that about Kevin Durant, but the reason why he's going to be forgiven because he's winning titles. At the end of the day, that's why he went to the Warriors. People, you can get mad at him all you want. No one's going to give a damn about him when his career is over. And it's like 15 years down the line, 20 years down the line, no one's going to talk about that he went to the Warriors after his team was down 3-1. No one's going to care about that. They're going to talk about them titles.
Exactly, in the big moments that he made in those title games. But at the end of the day, like I was speaking on this morning before we get a little bit into our second topic and then towards the end of the show, we'll get into about the more of the Golden State and Cleveland breakdown after this. But, at the end of the day, nobody talks about how LeBron went to Miami and he didn't meet expectations the first year. He didn't meet expectations overall for what he's supposed to do in Miami. They were supposed to win 72, 73, 74 games and be untouchable. Him, Wade, and Bosh, and Shane Battier, Mario Chalmers, and the whole team, eventually Ray Allen and some other guys. They were supposed to be what Golden State was when they went 72 and whatever the hell it was. You know what I'm saying? What Golden State was last year and what they kind of is this year. But LeBron is the person that didn't hold his end of the bargain in that first year. He was a non-factor in that 2011 finals with the Dallas Mavericks, I believe it was. He was a non-fucking factor in my Kevin Hart list.
Oh, that's forgiven for the simple fact, though, that they ended up winning a couple, but his first year, you can see people were rooting against them. I remember, you guys remember that most people was rooting against the Miami Heat because they didn't want to see no super team win. But here's the thing, though: the Boston Celtics were a super team before. The reason why he formed that team because he wanted to beat the Celtics, because the Celtics had a super team. So it's like this whole myth that this whole league has always been about super teams. That's what I want people to understand. The Lakers, remember the Showtime Lakers and them Celtics, man. Those were two super teams battling out every year. For real. Yeah, they had like a decade run.
Yeah, you never heard them say, oh, that was a super team. That wasn't even a word. I mean, Mikal Parrish, Dennis, what was the old boy named the point guard? Dennis Johnson. Larry Bird. I mean, they had a deep team. At one point, they had an old Bill Walton on the end of the bench, too.
That team was loaded. Loaded.
The 86 Celtics is considered one of the greatest teams of all time. A lot of people don't know that, though, because they forget.
Exactly.
But they had a decade.
Hold on, let's talk. We could go and talk about your Pistons with Isaiah Thomas and Vinnie Johnson. I mean, that team was loaded right there, too. Then they acquired Mark Aguirre. That team was loaded.
Yep.
People act like these teams won. Yeah, man. Joe Dumars, that team was loaded. Look at all the Hall of Famers on that team. Rick Mahorn, Then don't we also forget about whatchamacallit too? Oh my God, Dennis Rodman was on the team.
Yep.
You know what I mean? People,
Sally.
John Sally, that team was loaded. But people just act like, man, that these teams weren't stacked. That 76ers team with Moses Malone, Maurice Cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Those teams are loaded, Dr. J. Those teams are loaded. Almost every team outside of, I would say, that Pistons team, which was still very talented, the Pistons team that upset the Lakers. You know what I mean? That was probably the only team that wasn't considered loaded, but that's a damn good team. Look at that team that had talent. It wasn't lacking talent. You got to have talent to win.
You could look at some of the teams that Jordan beat. I mean, the Phoenix Suns had a fucking Hall of Fame damn near starting five with Kevin Johnson, Dan Marley, Charles Barkley. The Sonics had Sean Kemp, Deadlift Shrimp, what was the old boy name from the big guy? Man, Sam
I know you're
Perkins,
talking about the 1, 2, 3. Sam Perkins.
Sam Perkins, Gary Payton, Hershey. What is his name? I forgot the little shooter they had. His name was Hershey. Teams has already been stacked.
Yeah.
Some of those Knicks teams.
Remember the Portland Trailblazers with Jerome Kersey, Clyde Drexler. You know what
Terry
I'm saying,
Porter,
man? That's
Cliff Robinson.
Exactly. Like we keep saying it. The facts are on our side, man. The stats prove that we're right. Loaded teams, man. There was a lot of loaded teams, and there's still loaded teams now. People just act like that teams haven't always been loaded. There's always been teams that have dominated the league and usually made runs. This league, this myth that teams don't dominate. Dude, what the hell were the San Antonio Spurs doing over the past decade when they won 5?
Yeah. Especially when they the one that made the NBA born. That New Jersey Nets series.
Right.
They had Robinson, Tim Duncan, Ginobili, Bruce Bowen. They had a stacked team too. That Houston team.
It was not Joseph, but Tony Parker.
Yeah, and that Houston team, they was a little bit older, but Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, Clyde Drexler. I mean, it ain't. I mean, but United Boxing Talk UBT say nobody ever had a stacked team like this. But really, in the grand scheme of things, Draymond Green is not really seen as a superstar. He's a glorified all-star. He's a glorified glue guy.
Let me say this right now: Showtime Lakers, James Worthy, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, man. For real? You don't think nobody's had a team like that?
Michael Thompson.
You already named the Celtics with Bird, McHale, Parrish.
I mean, you can go down the line. What about the Orlando Magic team and with Penny and Nick Anderson and Shaq and Horace Grant and Scott
The Warriors are no talented. The Warriors are no talented than any of those other teams, man. For real. That's a myth. That's really a myth, man.
And then when you got hold on. Then you got the excuse me, not the Bulls. The Bulls really had a perfect team that kind of meshed together. I was talking about the they just is on top of my mind, man. Man. Miami Heat themselves. Nobody bring up the Miami Heat.
Yeah, the Miami Heat, right. Look at that team. That team. You can't tell me that team didn't have talent.
Yep, they was deep. Chalmers hit big shots. Battier was the ultimate glue guy. Haslam still was giving you a little bit something. You know, Wade.
Haslam was actually a really good good role player at the time too.
Yeah.
Haslam
and Shane Battier. Shane Battier was taking on some of the better defensive assignments.
Facts.
He was the ultimate glue guy. So to be real, the NBA always has stacked talent. I mean, even Shaq and Kobe. I mean, they had Glenn Rice the first year. Glenn Rice was an integral part of that team as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Derek Fisher was the perfect stretch point guard.
Man, I'm just telling you, all the way from when the league first started, man. It's always been that Celtics team that won 11 titles with Bill Russell. That whole team. Look at all the Hall of Famers on that team. That's always the league. NBA has always been this way. That's the point that you and I been describing. There's gonna be another team that comes across that's gonna be just like this Warriors team, and people are gonna be like, well, it's one of the greatest teams of all time. But I'm just telling you, the Celtics team right now, I'm telling you, the Celtics team that's developing, that team is the future, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All day, family.
Yeah, you're looking at the situation. You're looking at the situation
right.
I mean, the NBA ain't really never had parity. I think that's what we hitting at. I mean, if you go back to some of the greatest teams that never won the title, that's part of our title as well. Look at that. The Kings and them Portland teams that the Lakers beat. I mean, you go back to that Kings team: Bobby Jackson, Mike Bibby, Lottie Divac, Scott Pollard, Chris Webber. Shit, who Pedro Stojakovic was on that team. Hito Turkoglu was in the deep freezer on that team. That was a hell of a team that didn't win a championship.
No, man, there was so many good teams. Yeah, because remember the Seattle team that didn't win the championship. Some of these teams like the Utah Jazz, only reason they didn't win the championship because Jordan was there, man.
And that's what Jordan did. That's what Jordan did. What made him great and didn't make LeBron great. Jordan denied everybody a championship after he got over that hump of the Pistons. Right. You know, you hear Shannon Sharp say, "Well, he never beat the Celtics and he never beat the Lakers. He just waited for them to get." Oh no, he beat the Pistons. The Pistons beat the Celtics and the Lakers. They ended that. Yep. They beat the team that did that. So that's basically the same thing. You know, he wants to say,
he did. He beat the team that beat the team. So everybody has their day. There's always going to be someone that hates. I don't care what era it is, because people want to say that their era is always better than the new guy's era. It's always going to be that way. And so people are always going to complain. And I'm telling you, that when the Warriors run is over, there's going to be another team that's going to be hated. So the Warriors, because remember, when the Warriors first got on this run, people loved the Warriors. They were loved. But now the Warriors are doing what they're doing. I don't care if the Warriors want to add a Kevin Durant. If the Warriors were still winning with Harrison Barnes, the Warriors will still be hated because people eventually get tired of you when you win it. The same thing happened to that Bulls team, but people still going to watch. People keep saying if the Warriors get Anthony Davis or something like that, they're not going to watch. Yes, you are. Yes, you will. You say you'll stop watching if they get at LeBron. You still watch. People say this crap all the time. They've been saying it for years. People are always going to watch. You know, I know it. Everyone knows it. If there's a dominant team in any sport, you're going to watch it. Just like people.
Yeah, true. And plus, especially when it gets to the dog days, when there ain't no football, basketball on and nothing like that, people always going to watch that shit, man. But at the end of the day, I mean, I said.
We'll take right, too, because they don't know it's just a different sport. But remember when the Yankees were dominating? People still watch that.
Yep, they dominating right. They dominating right now. Them and the Red Sox have been the first team. It's the first time in history they both won 40 of their first 60 games, I believe. That's domination right there. That's 40-20 right there. That's total domination. I'm a huge Yankee fan, so at the end of the day, some of them Yankee teams in the 90s were dominant. I mean, even the Red Wings teams that dominated the NHL.
Right, yeah, the Red Wings dominated. The Red Wings dominated for at least half a decade.
Yep,
I mean, I don't know why people are surprised. And then look at even before then, the Red Wings. Look at Montreal, man. Look at Montreal hockey. Look at Montreal. Look at that. I think they got 22 Stanley Cups. So there's always been some dominant team in sports. It's always been like that. It's going to continue to be like that, and people will get over it.
The NBA will never have parity, bro. That's just not. It's not that. They will never be the NHL or Major League Baseball, where any given offseason you could turn your fortune around with the right players acquired or your farm system developing. It'll never happen like that. Only way the NBA gets parity if they do a redraft. We all know that ain't never happened.
No, and I'm gonna tell you this right. You know this right now. The networks love dominant teams. They love dominant teams. Remember when the Lakers were dominating, no one cried. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The Lakers,
even some of that fishy shit that went down between them and fucking San Antonio and Portland.
Exactly.
So this is a repetitive cycle of the NBA. It's just the way it is. If it wasn't the Golden State Warriors, it'd be somebody else.
But hold on, I could go back to, like I said, to your team. Remember the Pistons? Remember the Pistons of the 80s. And people were one time getting tired of the Pistons, too. The Pistons had won back-to-back titles. And it was a
should have won back-to-back. Because there wasn't no foul on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That wasn't no fucking foul. And Isaiah, and motherfuckers talking about Steph Curry better than Isaiah. Excuse me. I just don't agree with that. I like Steph like everybody else. But Isaiah gave them niggas the business on one leg. 22 24 points in the quarter. That boy was man. People putting people on top of Isaiah Thomas and people putting people on top of Kareem and Wilt just shows you that people are a prisoner of the moment, though, man.
No, I just say this, man. You know, I hate. You know, what we need to stop doing is comparing people, though. Anyway, you know why? Because everyone's good for their era.
Exactly. Same thing about
play each other.
Same thing about boxing. We need to stop comparing shit that we can never prove.
Exactly, like we're saying, like we all look at Muhammad Ali as some people look at Muhammad Ali. Not everybody, because I know people don't see Muhammad Ali as the greatest of all time. But we will never know if he could have lost to some of these guys because we will never ever see him fight them. So it's like
obviously it's a pointless debate. What you're saying,
right? You know, because people still compare the Yankees too. Remember, when the Yankees, I'm talking about the Yankees when they had everybody, man, from Joe DiMaggio, you know what I mean, to Mayers, to Mars, and I mean to Maris and everything like that, man. When they had all the greats, when they had what's his name again? I can't think of his name right now, but you know what I'm talking about, the great Yankees teams, and they would consider those teams the better team. Well, no one could beat that Yankees team. How do you know? You don't know. You really don't know. There's scouting points and things like that today that maybe somebody could have slowed them down. We don't know that. I mean, it's a possibility. We can say that, yeah, that was a great team, but you really don't know. And that's my point about this. But it's good. It's debate.
But it's debatable because that's what kind of keep boxing alive and basketball alive with those debates. But at the end of the day, it's the media pushing that agenda. It's the media over there making it an analytical and a stat-driven league, talking about QBR and talking about plus minus. What, you won't never see no fan talk about plus minus before they start those deep analytics that really don't mean shit.
Right. Yeah, man, it's I don't know, man. People are always going to debate sports. That's what makes sports exciting, though, too.
Yeah, you can always debate it, but the thing about it is this, though, with the sports shit, though, man.
Right.
It's like each era was different. That's what people don't understand. Jordan, like Magic and Bird. Without them, it won't be no NBA on TV. People got to remember that. They put that.
No,
NBA,
they did. They put the. Yeah. You're right. They did. They made way for it because of those great Magic Bird battles, man. That made the NBA today.
The NBA finals used to be the only time the NBA came on regular TV, and it was on fucking tape delay before Magic and Bird.
The way it was. My father told me all about that too, man. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the difference from the '70s and the '80s I'm gonna tell you right now, how bad physical the NBA was in the '70s makes the '80s look soft. I'm telling you, my father, I seen some of the games. My father told me about it, and I actually got a chance to see some of the games. And I'm telling you, the '80s look soft compared to the '70s. And if you ever get a chance to go watch some of the games in the '70s, where you literally clothesline you.
And what's the coach that got his face broken up by my man?
Oh,
Rudy Tomjanovich.
Oh, you talking Rudy Tomjanovich got his face broken, man. And it was a common foul. But he ended up getting kicked out the league, though, after that. He broke his face.
What was my man's name? He wasn't a jazz. He wasn't a jazz musician that did it. I forgot my.
Yeah, I forgot his name. My father could tell me in a heartbeat who the guy is. But yeah, Rudy Tomjanovich got his face broken
up, man. They was out there scrapping, and the reason why that changed.
Hey, the Warriors coach got into a fight, man, with some of the players of the other team. It wasn't even a technical foul. The technical fouls and flagrant fouls and fines. Truth be told, if y'all really want to know the truth, didn't come into play until the Detroit Pistons got up against Michael Jordan. That's when they created the Jordan cried for that shit to be implemented to David Stern in the league. Jordan was the first. Bill and Rick Mahorn, man, they should lay it on people, bro.
Yeah, Michael Jordan cried for that to be implemented. Not in that particular. He cried to David Stern for something to be done. He the one that changed the league. He the one that took the league from a organized league to a superstar league. Jordan did that shit. So
yeah, but you know the Pistons was whooping his ass. I'm talking about.
Pippen was quitting on the court. Talking about he had a migraine and shit. He had some help. So don't ever let nobody tell y'all that LeBron is this and that. Jordan was the original crybaby. He changed the whole league going in from that transition era. And then
Rick Mahorn threw a forearm to the side of Scottie Pippen's head. He was going for a layup, and we thought he was going in for a dunk. And Rick Mahorn came and just forearmed it right to the side of the head, and he fell down. And they'll just common foul. Like, man, you suspended for like 20 games. If you get for a year, you will be suspended for a year if you do something like that now.
Oh, yeah, he said it was Kermit. That's what Todd Foster said. Kermit.
Kermit. Yeah. There we go.
Kermit Washington. That's what it was. That's what Curtis Anderson said.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, the league is different, man. Al Attles, the Warriors coach, Al Attles, man. Got up. He would fight for his team like the damn coach would fight the other team. I mean, you can't see, and a coach can't do anything like that today, man. No way.
But Jordan took that shit. Superstar calls came with Jordan. Niggas wasn't getting no superstar calls like that. That shit basically popularized with Jordan. And they said once Jordan, you couldn't touch Jordan no more. It was over with.
Yeah, not being able to touch Jordan there. The Jordan rules. That's what they used to call it, the Jordan rules.
You can't when you couldn't touch that nigga. That's when he was able to take off. You know, he was able to take off, man. You know, but
the Pistons had the right way. The Pistons, like, that's why I tell people, I said, man, what Curry doing, if he played in the 80s, would Curry go off on that threes, if he played the Pistons, they'd have laid his ass into the basketball stand.
Not only just that, like James Worthy said, he said, you don't think we would have picked them Golden State Warriors up 90 feet and pressured them the whole way? They played defense in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s.
Yeah, but the Warriors would have ways, but they would have did other stuff. They would have really got up, and not just get up in it, but they would have been very physical, extremely physical. Maybe, and they would you would feel it. They would have to soak in the ice bucket after the game. For real.
Not only just that though, Jordan took over a league when it was a league of big men. I mean, you could say it was Magic and Bird. Them motherfuckers was big men even by today's standard, but you still had McHale, Kareem still was anchors on those teams.
And Patrick Ewing, because Patrick Ewing was a motherfucker back then too, bro.
And people won't believe me when I say Patrick Ewing was every bit as talented as Anthony Davis, though.
Hell yeah, man.
But people don't remember that though, because
hey, remember that sweeping hook he had? That was a travel still, but still, he still had that sweeping hook. You couldn't stop it.
Every big man,
damn stop it, man.
Every big man had a 10 to 15 footer. Every big man could play with their back to the basket, except for Kemba.
And had great footwork, man. The footwork of the big man that they don't know how to do today. It's like, man, why don't you learn how to do that? You will be unstoppable because no one could guard you because they're not used to guarding the guy who has moves around the basket. Man, that's why DeMarcus Cousins does what he does. If he just played defense, he could actually be he could be by far the best big man in the game.
No big man play defense no more. I mean, even Capella, they say, and DeAndre Jordan say they a good big man. No,
but he can't play post defense.
Oh, they good help side defense. Even look at a guy like Davis and DeMarcus Cousins, man. I was playing fucking FanDuel, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick Davis and somebody else because they going against. I ain't picking Porzingis today. The Porzingis, he ain't gonna do shit versus Davis and cuz that motherfucker went off for 40 points. How do big 2 7-footers let a unicorn go off for fucking 50 points, 40 points? They don't play no damn defense. Karl Anthony Towns don't play no defense. DeAndre Drummond don't play no defense. None of them play no defense. Al Horford might be the best defensive big man.
You sound like my homie that I work with right here. He's from Detroit, and he hates Andre Drummond. He can't stand Andre Drummond. He said, man, that dude's a bum. I said, wow. He's ready to, he want to trade him. I don't know if you in the same boat as him.
Hell yeah, I want to trade everybody. I want to be terrible. I want to get Zion Williamson, man.
You want to get Zion? You want to take. You want to take for the draft.
Yeah,
you want to do what Philly did. You want to do what Philly did.
Trust the process.
It's smart, though. It took time to look at Philly in position in the future to be one of the teams that dominate the league. The Celtics and the 76ers are in position to dominate the league over the next 10 years, man, for real.
And not even just that, though. It's the simple fact that Philly would have been ahead of schedule if they didn't keep drafting injured motherfuckers. Nerlens Noel, Jaleel, lazy-ass Okafor.
Right.
Man, what's the other kid? Markelle Fultz. I mean, I'm going to tell you this, dog. I watched Markelle Fultz play Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball dominated that kid, man. He dominated him in college, man.
He did.
He dominated.
Hey, I don't know how everybody missed Jason Tatum, but
oh my God. See, I don't watch Duke games like that though. So you know what I'm saying? And I had heard a lot about Josh Jackson, and once a couple people were down in Phoenix, Josh Jackson started doing really, really good this year too. Josh Jackson probably should have been the second or third pick.
Hey, Phoenix, and if they can continue to grow, maybe one player away.
Coaching. They need some coaching, man. They need some coaching, man.
They do. But that's not hard to get. They can go get themselves. There's some good coaches out there they can go after and get.
Hey,
what would be a good coach for them, man? If he wasn't too old, I wouldn't mind them having like someone like Larry Brown, man, to mold a young team like that.
Shit, even Mark Jackson, who they blackballing out the NBA, will be a good fit.
Yeah, you're right. Mark Jackson could actually teach them how to play defense. I don't think Mark Jackson's the type of coach to get you over the top, but I think he's one of those coaches like Marty Schottenheimer who can actually build you up, get you to the point.
A bridge coach.
A bridge coach, exactly. I think he's that type of guy, that type of coach.
I think they should get that. I think they should get that boy out of Europe, dog. I'm sold. I'm sorry. I usually don't fuck with white Europeans in basketball at the top of the draft. Don't call me racist. But Luke Donovan, whatever his name is,
Right.
That boy the real deal, man. He ain't no fucking Ricky Rubio neither, man. That boy can play. He ain't one of them Europeans that averaged 5.3 points a game and played 10 minutes. He was the Europe League MVP.
Hey, but you know, some of those kids though, some of those kids that come out of Europe, they may not be scoring that much, but they're also limited because of style of play and because a lot of the European leagues like to play some of the older players, man. So that's why a lot of those kids. That's why Porzingis.
That nigga sweet.
That's why Porzingis surprised people.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the greatest teams that never win a championship. Real talk, stay on schedule, man. Well, what's one of your greatest teams that never won a championship?
Oh man, I think the Utah Jazz, the '96 Jazz. That's another the '98 Jazz. Excuse me, the '98 Jazz, and I would say the '96 Seattle Supersonics, man. I mean, goddamn, they never go take Jordan 7 games with that kind of team that they had. I'm telling you, if Jordan was there, they would have had it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Are you talking about the Supersonics?
Yeah, the Supersonics, man. The 96
they locked Jordan up. They locked Jordan up in a few of them games. He was like 5 for 20 something. I think Pippen had bailed his ass out in one of them games or some shit like that.
Yeah, he did, man. Peyton was guarding the man. It was doing a number on Jordan. doing a number. Peyton is hard to score on, man. Shit. Hey, with Jordan doing his thing, Jordan really wasn't efficient. Wasn't that efficient in that series, man? But he got the job done. Peyton hard to score on, bro.
Yeah, and that's like Kobe. That's like Kobe back in the Boston Celtics series. Was it 2010 finals? Where he couldn't fucking buy a bucket, but he had like 20 rebounds or some shit like that. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man.
Right.
I think before I name one of mine, I think one of the biggest what if stories is that Houston championship team with Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon. What that could have been,
right?
You know, they didn't get it because Ralph Sampson ended up getting injured. But like I said, it was the 2000 Trailblazers. That was one of the greatest teams that never won one.
Oh, you talking about the one that blew that lead, that blew that game 7 against the Lakers? Oh man,
I remember that roster. I remember that roster.
Rasheed Wallace.
It was here. Rasheed Wallace, Steve Smith. Look, check this roster out. Rasheed Wallace, Steve Smith, Bonzi Wells, Scottie Pippen, Sabonis, Jermaine O'Neal was deep in the deep freeze on the bench as well. Ruben Patterson, Greg Anthony, Damon Stoudemire. I mean, shit. That team was
they couldn't score down the stretch, man. That game was won. That game was won.
I thought it was over with.
I don't know. Man, I thought the game was over. I said, wow, they just said the Trailblazers really going to the final, and they just fell apart. Like the last minute and a half. What the hell was that?
That was a fucking team right there. And I think another good team that never won a championship too was that fucking Minnesota team that lost to the Lakers too when they had Sam Cassell and Sprewell and Kevin Garnett.
And Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. That was who else was another good one, man.
You know, at one point,
I thought a couple of those Knicks teams too, man.
They lost to Houston Rockets.
Remember the Knicks team that had the Jordan down 2-0 and then blew 4 straight because John Starks couldn't hit couldn't hit the fucking with the ocean from the shore. He just got cold. John Starks was hot and was making everything. And he just got cold. When he went cold, he went really cold.
He's a streaky shooter. He was a streaky shooter, man. And then you had that fucking the Magic team. You know, we just named with Penny in them. That was another good one.
Right.
We were real good. That was a team that.
That Magic team, yeah. We were Nick Anderson, man. If he
my god. That told his free throws at the end of that game totally tore that team apart, bro.
Nick Anderson never recovered as a player. He too, man. Remember, Nick Anderson was never the same.
Never the same player. Quan said, Quan43 said that Jeff Horn didn't make weight.
I thought he said he made weight. Someone said he made it.
Oh, he made it?
I heard he made it. He said Jeff Horn makes. I got updates from multiple guys. He made weight.
He made it. A Horn heavy comes back, makes weight for Crawford fight. Yeah, he made it.
Yeah.
I
got multiple people told me he did. So that's good news, man.
I wouldn't have made that, but I'd have came in that bitch heavy as hell. Fuck that shit.
I'm telling you guys that Jeff Horn is he been barely making weight. He's a junior middleweight. He needs to move up.
Yeah, he was supposed to actually, before we get back to the basketball talk, he was supposed to fight Anthony Monday for $2 million until Bob Arum, made him, made him an offer he couldn't refuse. So at least he went out like a real. We can't complain. Get on boxing for a minute. You can't complain when guys come through and at the heart of a champion, and then like Kell Brook, he had a heart of a champion. So we gotta praise Jeff Horn for coming and making that weight. He didn't have to make the weight though. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I think he needs to understand that it's not healthy for him to continue to do this. Yep. And he needs to go ahead and move up after this, man. Because you having to work this hard to make weight. Go ahead.
And that drain the water out your brain too. That's what makes you age.
Hey, CJ, I don't know if you might. I think it was like 2 or 3 fights ago, something like that. Not the last fight against Corcoran, but I think a couple of fights before that, he had stopped sweating.
That ain't never good. That's why I told you guys in the Badou Jack fight for a minute. When Badou Jack came out versus Donnie Stevenson, people say he was scared of power. I said no. He didn't have no sweat on him. He was bone dry. Even Stevenson was a little bit more moist than he was. When you come out bone dry like that, that means you're not hydrated right. And if you get punched by even the medium of punches, can knock you out early quick. And that's what happened with Badou Jack and Derek Edwards too.
Yeah, that's why Badou Jack should have. When you see an opponent dry, you're supposed to step on the gas early, man. You know what I mean?
Stevenson should have stepped on the gas, but he did.
Man, Badou Jack, to me, it's hard for me to feel sorry for Badou Jack. He was crying and complaining after the fight. I won the fight. Like, dude, why start? Why you always start late? Start early, man.
Hey, but Linder,
I can't feel sorry for Badou Jack and all his draws because he brings it on himself. Why would you give the judges the chance to call it a draw?
Yeah. Hey, Lindinger Chrome said, I'm still pissed at Starks. I remember watching him miss jumpers and OJ and the white Bronco on split screen.
Oh, I remember that too, man. I remember that being in high school, man. Back then. I remember all that.
But then you got because you can't even go back to the 80s for real, because most of the 80s was fucking Magic and Celtics, was Bird and Celtics. It
was the 80s for the most part, except for that Pistons era and the 76ers one. It was all Lakers and Celtics. I think it was only 4 teams that won the championships in the 80s. The Celtics, the Lakers, the Sixers, and the Pistons. That's it.
That's it. And then Jordan dominated 6 years in the 90s.
Yeah. And here's the thing: if it wasn't for Jordan to retire in those 2 years, did the Rockets even get those 2? I don't think so.
Yeah, true. That's real true. So I mean, like we said, the NBA really never had that parity, man. It's never been the league of parity.
But when you put it out, people will still hear this and dismiss it like we're lying, like it's never been like this.
Yeah,
and then the Rockets won back to back. The Rockets probably won 3 in a row for Jordan come back.
Yep. Matter of fact, no, they wouldn't have. No. Who beat their ass?
I think the Lakers. No, you're right. You're right. Because the Lakers, I think didn't the Lakers.
The Jazz ended up beating them. I think it was the Jazz that ended up beating them. Was it the Jazz or the Lakers?
I had to think after Orlando got to the championship, didn't Shaq force a trade or something like that? After that,
what happened was they went to the championship. They had beat Jordan that year. Remember, that's the year Jordan came out of retirement.
Yeah, I remember that they beat Jordan. That's when Jordan won number 45.
Yeah, then Jordan said, "Fuck that shit." He came back and he destroyed the Magic the next year, and then that's when Shaq went on to LA.
Okay. I know it was close. It was close around then. He forced a trade to the Lakers, and then people weren't complaining about that then too. No. And then all of a sudden,
he didn't force a trade. He didn't force a trade. That motherfucker was a free agent, I believe, wasn't he?
I thought he was afraid. I thought he ended up doing a signing trade. I forgot. I got to go back.
He might have done a signing trade. He might have done a signing trade, but he wouldn't talk about that. And they already had one Kobe already on that team.
Right. Yeah.
Was Kobe already on the team?
Yeah, I think Kobe had just got drafted or something like that.
Yeah, because he got traded from the Hornets and shit. They had a squad over there before that.
And Kobe, remember, because Kobe made sure that he was only going to go to the Lakers. He sat there and made a big stink. He's like, anybody draft me, something like they go play in Europe or something like that. He said, I won't go to this team. I won't play for this team. That type of shit. So he forced them. That's why they traded Vlade Divac.
Vlade Divac and Eddie Jones. Vlade Divac and Eddie Jones, yep.
Yeah, Eddie Jones was nice, bro.
Hell yeah. He wasn't
Didn't Shaq play with Nick Van Axel? Didn't Shaq play with Nick Van Axel too for a little while?
He had to. Was good? Yeah, because Van Axel, Divac, Eldon Campbell was on that team.
Right.
They wasn't shit in the 90s, though. But they had some names on that Laker team. They wasn't shit.
Right.
They had Jones. The next one was sweet. Shit, just like that.
Elton Jones had a couple of good playoff runs where he was really good. But then he became a friend and went to I think he went to the Charlotte Hornets or something. Like I think he wasn't that good.
Yeah, Charlotte Hornets. It's like the Bullets team, man. When they had Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, and fucking Rod Strickland, man. These fucking owners be cheap as fuck, dog. Like the Oklahoma City Thunder team. That's another team that could have won the championship. We could talk about.
Yeah, Oklahoma City. Remember that? The owner was hella cheap. He had James Harden, Kevin Durant, and then of course Russell Westbrook. And then hold on, and they had whatchamacallit? Ibaka, Serge Ibaka. They had all four of those guys. And if you keep that team together, they lost to LeBron because they were young. If you keep that team together for another couple of years and let them grow together, there's no county telling how many championships they win. He would have profited. I'm still here.
He would have profited. You hear me?
No, I never left. I'm right here. I'm Eddie. I just sit right here. Yeah, I didn't go there. I'm just right here. Okay. No, they'll get ready to take my table. I said, don't you take my table away.
Hey, but like I said, he would have made his money back even if he would have paid for. Hey, he didn't want to pay James Harden $5 million, not annually.
Right.
Just $5 million was the difference between keeping James Harden and sending him to Houston. That was the dumbest shit I've
he said he didn't want to pay the luxury tax, but then he ended up paying the luxury tax after they were all gone. I'm like, you could have paid the luxury tax earlier and won multiple titles, dummy. What an idiot. And now look at his team. He's gonna end up winning no championships. He's gonna have Russell Westbrook, and you're probably gonna have to trade Russell Westbrook at some point to rebuild. That's what I mean. You got to blame the owner,
and you got to rebuild, in a motherfucking time where it's hard to rebuild and get people to come to Oklahoma City. But what up to Marlowe's Corner, though, man? What's up to Marlowe's Corner, brother? I see you out there.
And they got a small market, man. You should have never left. Seattle's the number 10 market in America. It's a top 10 market. Why would you leave that for like the number 35 market? That's stupid.
And then
the Starbucks owner wanted to buy the Seattle Sonics.
And then David Stern lied before he retired. He said he was gonna make sure Seattle got a team, and he fucking retired and threw the middle finger up at them niggas.
They're gonna get a team back though, because it's too big of a market. I was gonna be surprised if Oklahoma City end up back over there. Because I mean, I'm no disrespect to Oklahoma City, they got good fans, but I mean, not a lot of stars just want to go over there and play, man. You know, you guys are getting. It's hard for them to attract free agents. You got to get them through trade. Seattle wouldn't have that same kind of problem, man. Seattle's a bigger market. Seattle also has owners a lot of money over there.
And then the Thunder just so happen to have a dog-ass 3 drafts in a row.
Right.
AD, Russell, and Harden, and then they got lucky with Ibaka at the end of the draft. They just had some dog, but that's another team that they could have won one. You know, you keep thinking, no, them New Jersey Nets team, I couldn't stand them motherfuckers. They was boring. Kerry Kittles and fucking Richard Jefferson and Kenya Martin, Jason Kidd. You can talk about those one of the worst teams that been making to the fucking finals.
Yeah, that was terrible. They only got there because of Jason Kidd, bro.
That was a terrible. Hey, Jason. Hey, motherfuckers talking about what LeBron doing. Jason Kidd was doing that same shit with that team. That motherfucker was Kidd. Them niggas ain't
wasn't that good, man. Jason Kidd brought that, was bringing shitty teams to the finals.
Hey, then one year Shaq stumped their ass out, I think it was, and then the next year David Robinson and Duncan stumped their ass out. That was when the NBA really got boring, bro. When you had them Knicks and them Nets and the motherfucking them Spurs series.
You're right.
Oh, nigga, the NBA, it was worse than this shit did right now. At least you got LeBron doing
it. It was, though, but here's the thing, though. People forget, though. We know that the Spurs tanked on purpose after David Robinson got hurt. They tanked on purpose so they could actually get Tim Duncan. And they ended up getting Tim Duncan. So they had Tim Duncan and David Robinson at the same time, but people crying about the Warriors. And they already had us. They already had a top 10 player in the league, and David Robinson already on their team. And they tanked to go get Tim Duncan. But but the Warriors are bad, right? Come on, come on.
They did take to get Tim Duncan because Greg Popovich went down to the Virgin Islands to meet with him.
Exactly, they did that on purpose, man. They went into the season. They saw what was going to happen. Said we went in there not trying to win games, intentionally take the season to get that. but people talking. Remember now, people complain about tanking. And the Spurs were one of the first ones that really originated.
They tank. My man said show the 99 Knicks some love. Yeah, that's the lockout year. They lost to the fucking Spurs.
Yeah. Sprewell was over there.
Yep, that was a straight little team too, you know. But when after that Shaq era with Shaq and Kobe, it was over with for the NBA, man. Pretty much.
Hey, but not just that too. And they kept out the Sacramento Kings, man. What was like? I think it was like the the 99 Kings or the to 2000, 2001 Kings?
They probably was the 2000. They probably was the 2000. I think they was the 01 or the 02 Kings that you talking about.
Yeah, I forgot which one. Yeah, Weber, Stojakovic, Mike Bibby. That team was sick, man. Vlade Divac.
Nabi Jackson, Scott Pollard, Hedo Turkoglu was deep on the bench, Peja Stojakovic. That's definitely a team. They was about to go up 3-1. I was just watching that the other day. They was about to go up 3-1 on the fucking Lakers and fucking Vlade Divac
hit that three.
Man, Vlade Divac tipped the ball to the wrong motherfucker on the court. He could have tipped that bitch to Kobe, Fisher, anybody but Robert Horry. And Vlade Divac said it was just a lucky shot. That nigga Robert Horry came in. He said, "Do we know my track record?" He said, "I'm known."
That was the time when Robert Horry wouldn't do shit during the regular season, but the playoff Robert Horry was somebody else.
Not even.
What did Robert Horry do? Robert Horry do nothing during the regular season. During the playoffs start, he started hitting all kind of shots and stuff.
Remember, Houston got rid of him that first year. Remember, in the trade, the trade didn't go through or something. He ended up winning them a title when he had a shot in that motherfucker too. He wouldn't do shit. Hey, look. I put this on everything. I love everybody that's watching, dog. I'm babysitting my little brothers and sisters and shit. Right? It's 2005, to be honest. It's 2005.
Right.
The Pistons about to come back and tied up with the Spurs or something. Rasheed Wallace did not guard the inbound guy, right? For whatever reason. The inbound guy passes to Ginobili, which is Robert Horry. Ginobili passes back to Robert Horry. I looked and said, "Motherfucker, cash money." I was crying that day, dog. Couldn't nobody tell me shit. I was mad as hell at Rasheed Wallace, dog.
A hell of people wanted to see the Lakers lose then, and it just felt like.
Man, that was the fucking Spurs he was on when he hit that shot.
You talking about the Spurs? Are you talking about when the Pistons, the Spurs?
Man, when that nigga Rasheed Wallace didn't guard the inbound pass, he gave it to Ginobili, and Ginobili gave it back to Robert Horry. Could have heard my motherfucking face. I was like, motherfucker. That's before when he shot that bitch. Niggas in Detroit wanted to kill Rasheed for real. Niggas wanted Rasheed head on the platter, dog. That's the one nigga you do not leave open, dog. That nigga Robert Horry, I seen him catch that ball. I said, motherfucker. Robert Horry for three. I was like, motherfucker. We supposed to have back. I said it was over with at that point, dog. That motherfucker hit that shot, dog. I cried, dog. Nigga, I wanted to see. Hey, I know Rasheed probably would have whipped my ass then and now. I'm just looking.
It's not basketball, but I'm an A's fan, man. And the A's, 1988, when Kirk Gibson hit that home run, I cried. Yeah, man, I was so mad. And every time I see it today, I cringe. They keep showing that highlight, and I was like, man, if I can see him, I'd punch him in his face.
That shit.
I know how I feel, bro.
Dog, that heartbreaking moment, dog. Like, you ain't never experienced that shit, dog. Like, I'd rather have got blew out, dog, and got swept off the floor, dog. When that nigga passed that ball back to Robert Horry, it's like time froze. I said, I'm holding the baby like, motherfucker. I almost dropped the baby. I'm like, motherfucker.
How do you think the Kings feel, though, man, with Robert Horry, what he did to them?
Nigga,
when they were getting ready to go to the final.
Nigga, I had niggas because Chris Webber was on that team, so niggas in Detroit at that time rolled with Chris Webber. Man, we hit that shit. Niggas was mad. I remember my uncle. He had a two-way, and it came to his phone. My uncle lived in Sac, man. So he's a Kings fan, man. And he was over there, man. He just like speechless, man. Just absolutely speechless. And he's like, he still hates Robert Horry today. Nigga, like
Robert Horry hated.
Dog, that nigga Vlade Divac. It was like the same. It was like the same moment when Rasheed kind of did it. That boy went to Robert Horry. You just looking, dog. I just know how niggas are like, motherfucker. He had been doing that. Speaking of Detroit, hey, hold on, they gonna go up 3-1. Remember that? Or 3-0 or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was. They were thinking about to go up 3-1. No, I keep thinking of because I remember my uncle. My uncle lives in Detroit, and I remember when the Pistons, when they were playing the Celtics. I was a little kid, man. They were playing the Celtics, and Larry Bird stole that inbound pass. You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, we have the game won. He just kept saying we have the game won. We have the game won.
Hell yeah, that was another one. They could have won 4 in a row then. Isaiah passed it to ball and Bird stole it. And the next year they made it to the finals. And motherfucker Isaiah got hurt, and then they called that phantom call on Kareem. Them niggas, man, for Detroit, hey, look, for any regular market, a small market team that ain't LA, Miami, LA or New York, it's hard to get a title, man. In the NBA, it's hard to get a title. It's hard.
Yeah, man, you're right, man. The small market teams, man, that do it. It's hard. It's harder for them, man. Thank God, my team been trash. My team is in a large market and just been trash because we've had inept management, ownership. Chris Cohan, Eric. I just want to let everybody know. Look up the name Chris Cohan because he's a piece of shit, and he was a piece of shit owner for the Warriors for years with these stupid ass drafts and bad ideas. Let's draft Todd Fuller. We want Todd Fuller over Kobe Bryant. You know why we want Todd Fuller over Kobe Bryant? Because he's a nice kid, you know? He's a nice kid, mature kid, but he sucks. He sucks. I want Kobe. But he's a mature kid, you know? You Warriors, dude, out of the league, man, after a year. Out of the league. Never came back to the league. That's the Warriors. That was how the Warriors used to draft.
Hey,
trading Joe Barry Carroll.
Hey, Ticket TV say LeBron might try to convince Kevin Durant to join him.
Well, that's one of the rumors. That's one of the words. But Kevin Durant, they asked Kevin Durant about LeBron James joining the Warriors. Kevin Durant already said that he signed with the Warriors earlier today. And Kevin Durant was asked, how would you feel if LeBron signed with the Warriors? And he kind of implied that he don't want that to happen. So I don't think that Kevin Durant and LeBron going to be playing together. I think that's, even though Kevin Durant is mild and quiet, I don't think his ego, because I think he's tired of people saying that LeBron's better than him. And how about LeBron get on your team with you? You think he wants that? Right now, he's the best player on the team. On a team full of stars. And he wants LeBron on the team.
Ain't gonna happen. Man, wherever LeBron go is go. LeBron, I'm gonna say that for after the game, talking about where LeBron go. But I had another question and shit, man. I'm talking about, shout out to Allen Iverson too for that 0-1 finals performance versus the Lakers. They was the only team to land a punch on the Lakers that year.
Yeah, man. You talking about Aaron McKee? Aaron McKee was a hell of a defender, man.
Eric Snow was garbage, man. I couldn't stand that nigga from Michigan.
But he could defend, though. He could defend.
He could defend. Shit, he couldn't score for. I couldn't stand that nigga. That nigga missed so many.
But he could defend.
That mother missed.
But none of that team could score. Aaron McKee, I saw Aaron McKee hitting some threes. You know what I'm saying? But they could defend, though. Really, was just Allen Iverson and Allen Iverson by himself.
Roger Bell was shooting that bitch. They got him in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, Roger Bell, you're right.
They got him in the playoffs, though. So that was another good team. And then you got the Bucks team that had Glenn Robinson, Sam Cassell, and Ray Allen. Allen Iverson beat their ass, though.
No.
So the NBA, like to be honest, the Eastern Conference has been weak for a long time. But I ain't really never seen it this week that LeBron, this year. Like this year was just like motherfucker.
But the East was loaded for years, though, man. People always act like that. The East was always, the East was dominant for years. For years, they had the most. And the Lakers, remember, the Lakers used to have the easiest path to the playoffs, but it really wasn't all that easy because there was talent there. Because even the weekend,
they was battling with the Spurs. Remember, the Lakers? That was pretty much their only competition was the Spurs.
Right. Remember the Atlanta Hawks? The Atlanta Hawks when they had Kevin Willis and they also had Dominique Wilkins and stuff like that. That was a good team, man. That was considered the trash team of the postseason. And they even them would give the Celtics some kind of problem.
Then you had the Cleveland Cavaliers that Jordan beat with Craig Elo and Mark Price and Brad Daughtry
and Ron Harper.
Yeah, Ron Harper. You had
player, man. Ron Harper played.
Until he hurt that knee, it was over with. But he was a player.
Right.
Shit, don't forget Minnesota some years. Remember before Tom Gugliotta hurt his knee?
But you know what you did?
Was a beast.
Like I said, though, the myth, we've already absolutely annihilated the myth that the league hasn't always been super teams.
It always been, even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he won a championship with Milwaukee, but he walked over to a Lakers team.
Hey, but here's another thing about because remember when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the Milwaukee Bucks too, man. But when he was there, that team was done with winning.
Wasn't him and Oscar Robertson? I think it was him and Oscar Robertson was on that team, man. But about 4 minutes, we're gonna just give a total breakdown for the Cavs and Warriors. We just pretty much freelance and talk about teams that was great teams in their time. So Stephon Marbury was good. Yeah, we could talk about Stephon Marbury. Gary Payton was my favorite. Kevin Willis had some short arms. That motherfucking arms was like fucking 35s. Arms was big as fuck.
You know the thing about Craig Elo? Well, Jordan was abusing Craig Elo, but you know at the time, Craig Elo was one of the better defenders in the league when he was doing that to Craig Elo. I'm serious. People don't know that, man. People might think Craig Elo was trash. He wasn't. He was a really good defender, man. But he just got abused by Jordan.
Mark Price was fucking good too.
Mark Price was really good. Yeah, that Cleveland team was good, man. You had to deal with Jordan though.
Suleiman, I'm trying to send you a link now, bro, but it ain't letting me send you a link. My bad. I don't know what's going on. But yeah. Like hey, before we get into the Cavs and Warriors game 4 breakdown and prediction for all the way, people be killing me saying that players from back in the day couldn't play in this era. I said, what's the big fucking difference? Because don't nobody play defense no way. Don't nobody play no fucking defense.
Some players have trouble today with all the spacing and shit like that. But there are a lot of players that can play today. And Kevin, I mean, speaks like this, but I think about Patrick Ewing down in the post, put 4 shooters around him. That team would be devastating. You know what I'm saying? Akeem Olajuwon, 4 shooters around him, devastating. Because they can still run up and down the floor too.
Imagine motherfucking Shaq in this era. Akeem Olajuwon.
No, okay. I gotta say that the whole time.
The motherfuckers would drag Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins through the motherfucking mud. Yeah, Marbury was my nigga, man. He was just on some bitch shit with Kevin Garnett though. Marbury was he said that he was jealous of Kevin Garnett. He was the star. It was like some fucking Westbrook and Durant shit. And basically he moved on and Kevin Durant was in Minnesota. Malik Sealy died. Tom Bouilala got hurt. Terrell Brandon was a good player. He got hurt. So Kevin Durant went through his trials and tribulations in Minnesota too. I remember Rodman got into it with Shaq. Hell yeah. I remember when Anthony Peeler bowled the fuck out of Kevin Garnett. Motherfuckers talk about Kobe getting pieced up by Chris Childs. Niggas don't remember when Anthony Peeler bowled fucking Garnett when he was Sacramento versus Minnesota. Bowled the fuck out.
All right, bro, I gotta go over there. They want me to sit at the table, so I'll let you at halftime or something, all right?
Bowled the shit out his ass. Blowed the shit out that motherfucking Kevin Garnett. Anthony Peeler, that shit was funny as hell. Go look that shit up. They couldn't play in today's time because they were fouled out and get kicked out the game. The game is soft. Yeah? Just imagine Ben Wallace playing today, nobody going into the paint. Hell yeah, they have to foul that nigga out for no reason though. It's definitely a different game. The game has evolved to make, points score higher, but back in the day, the league averaged the highest points per game than they do now. So most of today's game is isolation. We're gonna talk about the Cavaliers and the Warriors right now. Game 4. I thought the Cavaliers did everything I thought they should do for the most part, schematically wise. I thought they did everything they supposed to schematically wise with versus Golden State in Game 3. I thought they defended well. You see LeBron come out playing off the ball. He was letting Rodney Hood control the ball. He was letting Jeff Green isolate. He was facilitating. He was playing off the ball a little bit. They did everything they were supposed to. They defended. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson didn't play well. I mean, Andre Iguodala, if he wasn't there, I think the Cavaliers probably would have won that game. He made a lot of big plays. JaVale McGee has been a game changer as well. I thought the Cavaliers played their best game, man. Now, one reason they could win this game tonight is just based on they playing with no pressure. They playing with no pressure. No pressure at all. They're not expected to win tonight. They expected to get swept. And if they play loose, they can hit a lot of shots tonight and really run away with this game, man. But they got to do what they did last game. You know, take the ball out of LeBron's hand, let Rodney Hood get a rhythm, let him shake and bake and get into a rhythm, and play with them himself. He'll be all right. You know, let somebody else work out and give Bron a break on the offensive side. But one of the things that did go wrong for Cleveland and why ultimately they did lose was being lazy on defense. And when you see, for my people that are really not in depth with basketball like that, I don't know the schematic part of basketball. When you see a team always switching on defense, that's a sign of a lazy defense or a team that got 5 versatile defenders. And Cleveland don't got 5 versatile defenders, man. They just don't got 5 versatile defenders, man. So they shouldn't be switching. And LeBron not wanting to take on the duty of checking Kevin Durant just shows another reason why people question his GOAT status. Why people question, is he a great player for real, for real? Is he an elite GOAT player? A great player, excuse me. And, you know, he got to take on the challenge of at least checking Kevin Durant when the game is on the line. For real, he didn't even want to. He switched off of Kevin Durant several times down the stretch to Kevin Love, and then the last time he switched off Kevin Durant to Rodney Hood. You can't do that. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. So they got to do what they did last game offensively, man. Facilitate, move the ball, let other people control the ball. Don't let LeBron just dominate the ball up and down the court, and let LeBron work off the ball a little bit. Like in the beginning of the game, he posted up on the high post at the free throw line. Then he made a sweep pass to somebody for an easy bucket. They got to start posting LeBron up some more this game. That's the really only adjustment on offense I would make is post LeBron up high, post him up on the low block, and let him draw a double team. Let him wear somebody out on the low block and get some easy buckets. Let Rodney Hood have some ISO plays. Let Jeff Horn isolate. Run some plays for Kevin Love on the block and try to pound the Golden State Warriors where they inferior at, and that's on the inside. If LeBron James legitimately can play on the post, you know, and Kevin Love can get down the block and bully the Golden State Warriors, especially with JaVale McGee not in the game, this game will be a lot easier for him. And it'll open up the outside shots for George Hill, J.R. Smith, Rodney Hood, and company. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they got to do. They was off to the right start in game 4. In game 3, excuse me, they was off to the right start. LeBron was playing off the ball. He was playing on the high post. They got into the low post, though. And the guys was moving out the ball. Jeff Green got some isolation. They isolated Rodney Hood and let him work out. He got some buckets. He got into a rhythm. They got to repeat that, but put LeBron and Kevin Love on the block and let them pound the interior and pound the post. And I think that'll be their best way to get back in this series, or at least win a game. And also, LeBron has to check Kevin Durant. No more switching. He got to stick on Kevin Durant, man. That's imperative for LeBron. You know, he don't have to play him all 48 minutes, but if the game is close coming down the stretch, he need to take that assignment on and lock up Kevin Durant, in my opinion, because if that was Steph Curry, he would have locked up Steph Curry. You know, he would have took that Steph Curry challenge on quickly. Even in LeBron's prime when it was with Miami, he took the challenge on in winning time, when the crunch time, he took the challenge of locking Derrick Rose down. He needs to come back with somewhat of that mentality with Kevin Durant. I know it's different. Even though prime Derrick Rose was a different animal, he was a different breed, and Durant is just something that the league has really never seen. I mean, you still got to take on that challenge. If he embarrassed you, he embarrassed you. You're going to get embarrassed tonight anyway. You know, you can get swept. So if you can lock down Kevin Durant and make some championship crunch time winning plays, people remember you that remember that not as much as the sweep as they will with the sweep if you just didn't try. And all CJ's new generation in the air. Oh, yeah, we just read that one. Golden State wants to sweep. Exactly. The Cavs are not going to play hard in the second half because some of them dudes really already booked their vacations. That's Mike James Boxing. I am none. Good teams that didn't win ships in the 90s. Daughtry, Price, Cavaliers. We talked about them. Drexler, the Blazers with Drexler and Terry Porter and Cliff Robinson and Duckworth. I remember them. Ewing and Knicks, Malones and Stockton Jazz. I definitely agree. Sounds good, but some of the reasons LeBron hates playing down low. Yeah, he do. He not a physical guy, though, man. He might be big, and I want to point something out. Every time he goes to the lane, he's always pushing off with his off arm. He's offensive fouling, man. So anybody talk about that Brian Russell fadeaway shot that Jordan hit, LeBron is religiously fouling when he goes to the line. Remember one day he took somebody's arm last game and pushed it out the way while he was on his way to a layup. So, he's the one that's always crying about fouls, man, but he delivers a lot of offensive fouls, man, going to the lane with that off arm, man. And I think a lot of you guys, if you was being objective, can agree. Sounds good for me. Hood gets no love out there. Some of that bench some of that bench should be there afterwards just to wash over the floor. Straight trash, bro. Hood did pretty good last game. He not a guy that's just an exclusive spot up shooter. Hood is a guy that got to feel the ball. He got to get in the rhythm. He got to dribble and create something for himself. Get him a couple easy buckets. He's a natural microwave scorer. Once Hood gets some layups and gets some jumpers to go in, Hood can just instantly go off for 30, 40 points easily. But at the end of the day, when you're playing with LeBron, he don't always let you get in that rhythm because he want to dominate the ball. He wants you to score when he passes it to you for assists. He wants all the riches, but he don't want none of the blame. And that don't come with being the captain of the ship, man. That ain't how it roll, though. But that's what they got to do tonight, man. That's the point. That should be points of emphasis. Start off like you did. Give LeBron off the ball. Post LeBron up at the high post. Post LeBron up at the block. Post Kevin Love on the block. Even if you got to, clear out the side of the floor and do isolation post up. Let the Golden State Warriors double team LeBron to get a couple easy buckets in the post. Then you can post up Kevin Love. They can make pass out the double team. You let it fly where it fly. If George Hill's making the threes, if Jeff Green is making his open shots, if Hood is making his open shots, whoever else in the game is making their open shots, you live off that because you're getting double teams in the post off Kevin Love and LeBron, and they can play high-low together, and you're getting easy buckets, and you're getting the Warriors' best players in foul trouble. None of the Warriors players can defend, Kevin Love and LeBron James in the post. That's a fact. LeBron James should legitimately be in the post most of the time, but he don't like the post. He don't like the physicality. LeBron is not a physical player, man, if you don't notice. Only time he physical is when he comes through the lane, putting his head down and off-arming you and putting his shoulder into your chest and scoring. Other than that, when somebody shows some resistance to LeBron at the rim or get all up in him, he don't like that, man. But that's what they got to do. And LeBron got to take on the task of taking Kevin Durant when this game is getting out of hand or when this game is actually close down the stretch. He got to not switch off on Kevin Durant. You got to stick with him. But I think he's scared for his brand that Kevin Durant is going to snatch his soul. So it's better for Rodney Hood to get the blame than he do, man, or Kevin Love. But like I said the other year, last year, if Cleveland and LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, if they played defense like Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan, they probably would have had a better chance. And I believe they probably would have beat the Golden State Warriors. But they played no defense. They tried to go point for point with the Golden State Warriors last year, and Kyrie didn't defend like he did this year with Boston. And Kevin Love don't defend, and LeBron don't defend. He don't care to defend. Last year, people that LeBron defended shot over 60% on him last year in the finals. You can't be the GOAT and not be playing no defense, man. And for Golden State tonight, you're going to have to come out with what happened last night. Wednesday night. You're going to have to weather the storm early. And I know a lot of Cavaliers fans were celebrating online, and y'all were celebrating, and they came out and they blitzed the Warriors early, but they was unflappable. They took that shot, ate it on the chin, and delivered the death blow down the stretch. So, Golden State got to weather the storm early. They got to play relaxed. And, shooters got to make buckets today. You can't count on Kevin Durant putting in 43 points today, which ain't a bad way to count on. But, they got to be good with the ball. I think Iguodala was definitely overkill. He played his role. He defended. He made smart plays. You guys just treat this game as it is a game 7 for yourself, as this is a must-win game. You got to take out the trash. You don't want to give LeBron no momentum because last time they gave LeBron some momentum, right? They suspended Draymond Green a couple years ago. And when Kyrie and LeBron got rolling, it was nothing that Draymond can do or anybody else could do on the Golden State Warriors to stop him from rolling. Draymond Green played his heart out in that game 7, but Kyrie and LeBron was just too much. And like I said today, they would have won last year if Kyrie, Love, and LeBron defended the ball. They didn't play no defense. They couldn't guard their position. So they lost. And this year, they probably going to lose again. For sure, they probably going to lose again this year, but they probably going to lose again tonight. It depends on what type of fortitude and what type of balls the fucking Cavaliers got tonight, man. Do the Cavaliers really got balls? Do they really got balls? Do they really stand for something? Or do they ready to go on vacation and take their championship and playoff bonus check and just be gone? It's going to show, I know LeBron going to hoop because LeBron ain't hooping for Cleveland. He ain't hooping for his teammates. He hooping for a brand. He hooping for legacy. So if he going to get swept, he going to be at least I scored 70 points in my last game and had a triple-double. Because that's what people hang on. When LeBron lose, people escape route for LeBron. Well, look at the points he averaged. your meaningless stats they put up in the regular season don't fucking matter in the playoffs. Playoff ain't a stat driven time. Playoffs about winning. You can shoot 5 for 55, but that last shot you make, it better count, and it better win the game. That's all people gonna remember is that last shot you make. And talk about Steph Curry. Steph Curry was what, 1 for fucking 10 or some shit like that, but he made that fucking scoop shot to put Golden State up 1, came back down the floor, made an open 3-pointer. People remember that before they remember that 1 for 10. So it's all about the plays that you make when it's time to win the game. Real shit. Kevin Durant had 43 points, and all 43 of them was needed. But that last 3-point shot he hit, that was demoralizing. That broke the camel's hump. That's what people remember. It's not about a stat-driven league in the playoffs. It's about when it's time to make plays. Are you there to make the plays? Are you there to make the big shots? Are you there to make the big rebounds, to play defense? It's about that. It's winning time, not stat time. Stat padding, nobody cares. And that's what LeBron James is going to be as a kid. That's going to be his hanging point. Well, I did my part. I averaged 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 15 assists in this series. I did my part. No, you lost. You the leader of the team. You want all the fucking riches, but none of the blame. All 3 rounds, you was taking credit. Then when it come to getting your ass swept, oh, it's the team fault. I carried them far as I can carry you. No, motherfucker. You didn't. You didn't do your job because obviously you didn't do everything you could do to win this series. You didn't defend Kevin Durant when he was at his hottest point to get the Cavs back in the series. You cared more about your brand with Nike, more about your brand and your reputation in the league than D'ing up Kevin Durant, stopping him and making a statement and winning the game for your team and putting your team back into this series. And that's the problem with LeBron James. He's a great player, great all the way around. He improved his jumper. He always learning, but guess what? LeBron don't like to get physical, and LeBron don't like to do the dirty work. And with every great player and every great thing in life, they always had their Achilles heels and their weaknesses. And that is LeBron James' weakness. It's not his weakness, not because he don't have a Steph Curry like 3-pointer or none of that other shit, or he ain't got the biggest heart, or he ain't none of that his biggest weakness. His biggest weakness is not being able to be a dude that can do the dirty work, not being a dude really put his nose in the fire and get out there and D motherfuckers up and do the little things, you know. Not being able to defend Kevin Durant and having this assassin killer mentality is his 2 biggest weaknesses. He don't want to do the dirty work. He want all the pretty flamboyant work. He don't want to, and he don't have a killer instinct. He don't have an assassin heart. You know, but for Golden State Warriors tonight, like I said, they got to weather the storm tonight, fellas. You know, shout out to Cali Enigma again. Hopefully enjoying, you know, his time at the bar, man. About to go down and drink some Hennessy myself. But hopefully, when Golden State actually got to, weather the storm. That's one. Early on, it's gonna be a storm if Cleveland got any heart or any balls tonight. They're gonna come out tough and shooting and making all the shots like the last time. Call the timeout, get yourself together, weather the storm, deliver the blow on Cleveland, and just do what you do. Steph Curry got to make shots. Clay got to make some shots. Draymond, play JaVale McGee more. He controlling the paint. That's what they got to do. Do exactly what they did last game, but make the shots. And once you break Cleveland back, the game will be smooth selling, though, man. It'll be real smooth selling, man. Golden State Warriors can't play uptight tonight. They got to play loose. They got to make the open shots. And, that's what it's going to be. Now, if you're talking about if the Cavaliers going to win, the unsung hero, in my opinion, is going to continue to be Rodney Hood and how he plays, how he defends with that length. Rodney Hood is going to be the reason why the Cavaliers win. And George Hill and Jeff Green, those are the 3 guys. Other than LeBron James and other than Kevin Love, who's been consistent and ain't been getting no love, he's been doing his thing. Those 3 gonna have to make shots, man, tonight and be on fire. And for the Golden State Warriors, the guy that's gonna have the game tonight, in my opinion, I guessed it right last time when I said Kevin Durant will pour in over 40 points. But the guy tonight who's gonna be the guy for the Golden State Warriors tonight, I believe is gonna be Steph Curry tonight. Steph Curry wants the finals MVP, and I think he's gonna try to put on a performance to steal that Finals MVP for Kevin Durant. In my opinion, I think a dark horse for the Golden State Warriors is Draymond Green having a big night. But you know what? I'm gonna stick with Steph Curry. Steph Curry is gonna have over 30 points tonight, and I think he's gonna hit about 7 three-pointers tonight. He's gonna get back on track. I think Klay Thompson will shoot better than what he shot as well too. But at the end of the day, we're gonna be talking about a championship tonight. a sweep. But in the morning, probably in the morning, we'll be talking about where LeBron going next, and we'll be headed towards Wimbledon and training OTAs and training camps in the NFL, and after the NBA and after the NBA draft, the true dog days of the summer start up. And when I say the true dog days of the summer, you brothers know when it's no football, basketball, no hockey, none of them type of sports, just boxing, tennis. I'm getting ready for college football and high school football. There's no feeling like getting ready for high school football and football in the fall, man. When that first real chill hit, them last hot days go, man, that's what we look forward to. And but yeah, man, tonight I got the Golden State Warriors winning 121 to 110. 100. I'm gonna say 121 to 100 over the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, man. Any questions y'all got about the game or whatever going on? I got to get enough time to chop up the Jeff Horn and Terrence Crawford final thoughts. Well, I'm gonna drop that after the game, man, or at halftime, man. LeBron sucks. How can he not beat a team with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson? I mean, LeBron is loaded. JR is a beast. That's being hypocritical. I mean, I think that's being what you call it. I can't think about the word. I can't think. My brain fried today. But then Steph get carried every year in the finals. That's a good point. Steph is always beat up and down in the final, but he don't play good in the finals. He might give you a good game or two, but he does get carried in the finals. But the thing about it is I have no sympathy on LeBron James. LeBron James wanted J.R. Smith. He traded Deion Waiters. He traded for J.R. Smith. He got Tristan Thompson his pay cut. He came back, got Wiggins traded for Kevin Love. He came back, he alienated and made Kyrie not feel the way he wanted to do. Look, this is LeBron James doing. LeBron James was the GM and the head coach over there. He made his own bed, so nobody feels sorry for him. At the end of the day, he the one that got Tristan Thompson all that money. He the one that let Dwayne Wade get traded. He the one that picked up George Hill. He the one that picked up Rodney Hood after Rodney Hood bust their ass. He the one that wanted all Isaiah Thomas gone and didn't want to, try to cater to Isaiah Thomas' game and help him flourish. He the one that kicked Kyrie out the door basically and made Kyrie not feel wanted. He did that. He built his own bed. So at the end of the day, when you want to say, well, he was against a stacked team, no, LeBron is on the team that he built and he wanted to be with, man. So nobody switches their stripes and switches their teams more than LeBron James and with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Warriors never thought they would be big. They would be big. Nobody thought. The Warriors is not like the Celtics and the Lakers. Now, if this was the Celtics and Lakers building this type of team that the Warriors had, they wouldn't get half the hate. But since it's the team that nobody really ever seen as a deep, historic team, they got an issue with the Golden State Warriors. They got an issue with them because it's a team that's unfamiliar to the large market. Like we mentioned, in the 80s, it was all Celtics and Magic. I mean, Celtics and the fucking Lakers. You had the Philly for 1 year. You had Pistons for a couple years. In the 90s, it was all Michael Jordan, and it was Houston Rockets, then fucking San Antonio Spurs won at the end. So at the end of the day, the NBA never had parity, man. It's never been a league of parity. It's been a league of super and dominant teams. And that's true, man. LeBron going to the Lakers. But why didn't Tristan Thompson and JR get so bad all of us? So Tristan Thompson ain't never been shit. J.R. Smith ain't never been shit. I'm just keeping it real. Them motherfuckers ain't. Why you think they got traded? Why you think? I mean, Tristan Thompson didn't get traded. What do you think J.R. Smith got traded for? There was so much, but they was never good. They was never good. Tristan Thompson ain't never averaged a double-double. For a motherfucker who can't score, he ain't never averaged 15 and 10. He ain't never been shit. They paid that bum. I mean, I can see he's a bum. J.R. Smith, he came out of high school. He never lived up to the hype, man. I'm from the Bay, and I rolled with the Warriors even through when the Jordan was king. Yup, and the Warriors now like the sun is shining back on the Lakers and the Celtics' ass. Let's appreciate this when the Lakers and the Celtics and the Warriors is not a big market. They deserve this, man. It ain't like a team that just continue to get wealthy and wealthy. Enjoy this shit right now because Boston and the Lakers, they're gonna make sure they get back on top. And it's gonna be the Boston and Lakers again. LeBron, Boston. I mean, at the end of the day, let's enjoy this. Even if this was Houston enjoying this dominant run, I would enjoy this. Houston, it had its times in the NBA, but it ain't never been. It had a dominant stretches. The Lakers, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Bulls had a dominant run. The Lakers had another dominant run. The Spurs had a dominant. It ain't. I mean, it's the same fucking usual suspects, man. Let's enjoy this, man. Let's enjoy the Golden State Warriors, the unusual suspect, enjoying the fucking dynasty. Let's enjoy it. It's not even my team, but let's enjoy that. As long as it ain't the same usual suspects, I don't give a shit. If Houston go on to dominate, I'm cool with it. If Toronto dominate, I'm cool with it. Miami was dominate, I was cool with it. Gone. No one ever gets on the Nick Young case for ring check. Because I don't give a fuck about Nick Young. I don't give a fuck about no damn Nick Young. He had that one white girl from Australia. It was a white girl from Australia, Izzy Banks, whatever that is. I'm so fancy, girl. Nick Young won half of what he's supposed to be out of UFC. He in the same boat as J.R. Smith, bum ass. But I'm about to cook up this final thoughts video for Crawford and Horn, dropping at halftime, and after the game, probably drop a video about the Cavs and Warriors, however it go, man. I definitely appreciate all the brothers on here. Appreciate Cali and Denver for coming on and donating to the super chat. I'm gone, man.